Please read. This game is designed to be played with a mouse. The input required of you is based around clicking the mouse buttons. The right mouse button will change the cursor's image and function. Only when pointing, indicated by the extended index finger, can you, the player, interact with certain menu buttons and prompts. Please click below in pointing mode to continue. Little rabooties, those are so cute. The second cursor mode is indicated by the cursor's image featuring a hand extending all fingers. This mode concerns interacting with objects inside the world, mainly picking up an object and moving it to another position. Seems like a very rude tutorial. Oh, never mind. I thought it was like click to play. Dang, what did Fox ever do to you? Gasp. Deanie Little Turbo. To continue, please pick up the piece of trash on the right and place it in the trash can on the left. Remember, the mouse button will change will change the cursor's mode, but when holding something, the mode cannot be changed until the cursor is not holding something. That's it. There will be many situations in growing my grandpa that will require you to pick things up, place things, grab things, or give things. Don't be afraid to experiment and keep an open mind about using your hand. That's a little weird. Why did they word it like that? Please click the button below to continue. Fox never once confirmed our friendship, so now I must bully. In order to expedite the cleaning process, you can use digits 1, 2, and 3 on your keyboard's number row to reposition the trash can below. Try moving it to the right of the screen in order to continue. Why does 1, 2, and 3 even do that? That's so weird! Well done. Please click the continue button to move on. A variety of video options can be changed at any time. Okay, I don't care about this. Hovering over the small question mark on the top right provides an overlay related to the available configuration options. Try hovering over it. Okay. Thus ends the tutorial. I hope you enjoy growing my grandpa. Infinite thanks to my patrons and supporters for believing in me and my work. You're welcome. Week 1. I wonder what kind of grandpa we're gonna grow. Aren't you guys excited? I excused Adrian during music class today and spoke with her about her recent string of demerits. Oh, demerits. I can read. Hello, hero. Welcome. Today we're growing our grandpa. Tamagotchi on the... Oh my gosh, those were the best. I had so many of those. I kind of wish there was like just like a phone app where I could, you know, just take care of it, but on my phone. It was our first time meeting outside of our quarterly evaluations, and I believe it went well. Are you sure yeah, demerits. That's how you say it, I think. That's how we're gonna say it today. I can certainly understand Mrs. Richardson's classroom observations concerning Adrian's emotional state. She was, of course, intensely shy when we first met. As I understand it, she's similarly withdrawn in her classroom activities and only speaks or acts when she absolutely must. Some things she simply will not do. Instead of participating in mandatory group activities, she will sit alone and accept that she will receive a demerit. LMAO, you're the streamer. We literally don't have a voice in this. Yes, exactly. Whatever I say goes. Before the meeting, I read Mrs. Richardson's parent-teacher report, which allowed me to estimate some about Adrian's home life. The parents are well educated and come from a prestigious background, but they lack time to properly nurture Adrian. She is often alone, and when she's not, the parents seem to not understand the importance of warmth and affirmation when dealing with someone so young. Having two parents of this reserved and icy temperament exacts an inhibition in a child. The child's imagination is subdued, but only ostensibly. What does that mean? This is big people words. What does that mean? For it eventually finds its way into regular life. I surmised that I would be able to reach out to Adrian by way of make believe. Don't say it all cute like that, you gremlin. I'm only gremlin when I play Splatoon. What are you talking about? Okay. How are you liking your new house? You told me you used to live close by, but it can be a big adjustment. A new room, a new school. The basement. I like that. The basement. Yeah, well, there's a lot of cool stuff. Mom and dad sent me down there. Your mom and dad made you go? Yeah, but there's ton of school, cool stuff. Well, that's not why they sent me down there, though. Imagine there just being some pencils, notebooks. Whenever I play multiplayer games, maybe. I do think it's maybe not as what is it? Strong or what is it called? I am brain farting right now. It's not as noticeable. No, because it's noticeable, but it's not as, I guess, strong, yeah, unless I'm playing Splatoon. Yesterday was a lot of fun, though, with you guys. Prominent! Foxy, you're big brain. Prominent. Yeah, unless I'm playing Splatoon. Because Splatoon, I actually have a chance at winning, you know? Other multiplayer games, maybe not. Why did they send you down there? Fighting. They were fighting, shouting. I came in to help and they shouted at me. They said, go clean up downstairs. So I went. That sounds tough. Do they fight a lot? No, well, Fox! Did you see the new way to give shoutouts on Twitch? Yes. Yeah, but how long do they last for? Because I gave a shout out earlier to Minzy, and I can't give out another one. Yeah. I never know, like, I gave out a shout out to Minzy maybe 10 minutes ago. Oh, yeah, that's okay, Hero. We're just glad you even played with us. Like, you were able to play with us for a little bit. It was a lot of fun with everyone. No, well, it's alright, Adrian. Maybe you can tell me more about the basement instead. Okay, well, it was weird at first, the stuff down there, but cool. I found something living, sort of. That's very interesting, Adrian. Please tell me more. By indulging in her fantasies and stories, I was able to glean more of an understanding of Adrian's anxiety surrounding her home and parents. The symbols of Adrian's story seem to carry their own traumatic weight, and her exploration of the basement may very well be a vehicle for the conveyance of her anxiety. Oh, that's such a long time. Thank you. Yeah, you must have been so tired. Whatever might come of our next meeting, whether she will engage in similar make-believe, I will set her down her story here. Yeah, drawing for 5 hours straight. It's like, oh gosh. I just drew for you know how I did the draw something redeem? I just drew for like 5 minutes and I'm exhausted. Adrian's story begins with her delving into the basement with a trash receptacle and the goal of cleaning up. She discovers one of the walls was covered in plastic bags. She went to investigate, intent on tearing away whatever they covered. Okay, this is not what I expected. Like I thought it was gonna be like we were gonna have like a little baby grandpa and he was gonna get bigger and bigger. I don't know what okay. Like what are we doing? Why are we cleaning up a basement? Trash bags. Okay, I guess we're just picking these up. Upon removing the plastic trash bags from the wall, she noticed their interior lining was covered in glass. Yes, point and click it is. Like a window, I offered. No, she said, like a mirror, reflecting inward towards the animal they covered. I gently asked her what exactly this animal was. Here is where the material reality of the story took a turn for the explicitly fantastic and imaginary. And imaginary, yeah. Upon her discovery of it, at her gaze, it grew or extended its shaggy haired self. Hair like the fur of a dog, I offered? No, she said. Not the fur of a dog, nor the hair on her head. It grew out towards her, the animal's hair, reaching out. It was hard, standing almost straight, like the hair on a brush. A bristle, I offered? Yes, she said. She was very afraid at first, but then very curious. I asked her what else was in the room. More things hidden away, she said. Oh, she said, things of Grandpa's as well. First she found a hidden passage under the stairs. Inside were strange dolls, magic objects, naked faceless figures. I heard these cryptic utterances and merely nodded. In order to keep the game of make-believe going, I only passed for details where I thought necessary. The faceless dolls could be a simple metaphor for the anonymity. Anonymity. Sonic Adventure? Yeah, me too. She feels in her own home. The hidden passage, I'm unsure of what to make of that. The revealing of the concealed seems to be the thematic in her fantasy. The door under the stairs is one example. Is but one example. The darkness of the shadowy corner unnerves you. You cannot explore here without some form of light. Hello, Selin. Welcome. What time is it for you? It's 6 in the morning. It is so early. I strive to be like Cottony. Why? We're all Sonic lovers here. You haven't slept again. Oh my gosh. Why can't I do anything? I'm not good at this game. Y'all are killing me. The birds are chirping. Oh, here. We can do this. A woman. Ooh, I know what I'm doing. I'll pass out soon. Good luck if I don't wake up in time. Okay. Have a good rest. Bye. Sleep tight. I love you too. To be able to play solo player game. Oh, I think I'm just a solo player game person. I don't know. Like, I like playing a lot of single player games, games with stories. Yeah. When she removed the panel and found the magical hidden passage, she was very specific about what she took. She found a magic book, a magic doll, a photo of her late grandpa, and magic glue. What? A slouching doll. Its material is rough and coarse. I know what's in this basement. What? Before streaming, I could do that, but now I get lonely easily. Ah, I see. A photo of your late grandfather. I just wanted to watch Cottonee grow a grandpa. Yeah, that's what we were doing as well. Mr. PhD. On the reverse side of the photograph, there is more text. Good luck on your trip to the Urals. What is that? What is the Urals? Am I saying it wrong? Urals? Urals, maybe? Stay warm. Some glue. Papers crudely bound together to form a book. Eurasian steppe shamanism, and the fusiform gyrus and interdisciplinary study in sympathetic magic, a dissertation by Jacob Hart. Okay, the impetus of this research, impetus, I can't read, was the recognition of a particular pattern in fragments of documents relating to magic and magical religious practices. Just Googled Ural, and it's a mountain that ranges between Europe and Asia. Oh, that makes sense. Because the title of the book has Eurasian in it. Detective Fox, we see you. Numerous sources were drawn from commentaries on laws relating to the banning of sorcery and necromancy, compilations of folk charms related to love spells, hagiographics of saints and their encounters with devils. The list spans many centuries and a great distance from the Levant to the Khazar Khaganate to the border of the modern nation states of Russia and the Kazakhstan today. I butchered that so much. Okay. From this paper trail arose a consistent account about a certain form of magic relating to the binding of demons to a sorcerer's will. A demon called the Heaven of Needles, or the Angel of Needles, was known to be kept best by shamanic keepers or wards who suffer from face blindness, prosopagnosia, whether by birth or through developmental causes like stroke or head injury. It was known to be extremely effective but terribly dangerous, so much so that it became outlawed several times and was generally a popular scapegoat relating to unexpected death. Scapegoat. So much reading! Let me take a sip of water. This nexus of magical religious meaning making, sorcery regarding human-related desires, and the history of science of neurological disorders related to the fusiform gyrus is where the subject of this dissertation will reside. I will outline further and then analyze the historical sources I mentioned previously. Then I will go into the neurology of mystic and magical religious experiences. After that, I will detail my ongoing correspondence with a resident of the Ural Mountain region who is an expert folklorist and keeper of the traditions he claims have been passed down from his extended family for generations. This seems. I feel like you know when you meet someone and then they're like, "I'm working on a dissertation and this is what I'm studying." Maybe I'm just a mean person, but normally most of the time, 99.9% of the time, I'm like, "Oh, cool beans, bro. This seems very boring to me." I interrupted to ask what she did with these magical, mysterious materials. "Grow grandpa," she explained plainly, and then without missing a beat she continued on with her story. Yeah, like, neat. Exactly. Feeling this was a potent symbol, I stopped her again to ask what she meant. Somewhat puzzled, I did not understand immediately. She explained slowly. "Grandpa lives in the cage in the other room, the cage behind the door. They grew people in the cage." Okay, so let's go to the door. A hastily written note. Let's read it. I have repeatedly called your homes to no avail, and so I am forced to leave this here for you all. I found William sitting in the corner of the enclosure area, seeming severely concussed. Whiskers was gone, in none of its usual hiding places. What? I immediately suspected the worst. Thus project the project thus must be suspended for now. I am leaving up the usual mirrored coverings we used to keep in the anthropoidic void sealed. What? I have done my best to lock up everything on such short notice. It is a hasty fix, but it will require some time to find a more permanent remedy. I am honestly hoping you do not find this note, as I intend to lock the house down too. I intend to race off to you to retrieve your lockbox keys. Do not worry about William's key. It and the rest of his equipment is almost certainly done deep within Whiskers now. I pray you do not enter this room, no matter how it may appear. William cannot be helped, and is only being kept alive as a means of continuing predation on the rest of us. I have no idea what's going on. Does anybody else know what's going on? Like, I will say once again, no matter what state you may encounter William in, he cannot be helped. I have sympathy for the young man, I truly do, but I found on his person several photos of his late sister, which would imply certain risks he knew he was taking. Nor, yeah, like, I know in general, like, what's happening, like, we're interviewing this little girl and she's saying what happened in the basement, but I have no idea what's all this reading is about. Our extant research materials have now become possible liabilities, either criminal or professional in nature, so I have stashed them away. I believe I let you all know how I might do this if we were ever to experience an event such as this. I hope you all remember what I told you. So long then. A note on an experiment. For the sake of, what? University. Do not break the anthropoidic vacuum. Any anthropoid forms brought into the enclosure area for testing purposes must not be left in the enclosure area unattended. Is bees they're attracted. Those are so cute. Look at how they float up on the screen. Okay, let's see. Emotional urges. That's a little creepy. Keep conversations not related to lab work to a minimum. Ritual behavior. I wish this note thing. Oh, I'm supposed to. Ah, I could have pressed read now. I was like, oh, I can't really read it that well. I guess they're not meant to be read that well. But you can just press read now. Ritual behavior at the sample, trading bargaining will result in dismissal from the project. The precise mechanism of the exchange of symbols and gifts required for a requested serious yield. Desirous yield is not known, and even then, anecdotal accounts of success are illegible, are blank, end in violent death. End in violent death. Ooh, that doesn't sound good. Regarding growth cycles, every time Whiskers regenerates and leaves dormancy, it is to be logged as a new propagation. The sample's bodily existence cannot be illegible. For example, a part cannot be cut from the whole, so there can only be one living propagation. Propagations are to be terminated after 5 weeks, and we're in week 1. Any further development puts us at risk. Termination procedures will be posted and followed with extreme care. With all of that out of the way, I want to welcome you to the project, and I look forward to working with you. Is there a way for me to check my inventory? I want to reread the first two. Beyond the door in the room, the cage was hidden, concealed in another cloak of inward-facing mirrors. I love Fire Force. I watched a little bit of it. I liked the opening song, but I watched up to episode 7 maybe of Fire Force. I really like Soul Eater though. It's by the same person who made Fire Force. I love Soul Eater. It's one of my like top 5 favorite anime probably. A hidden cage lined with mirrors. It is strange, almost poetic, the elaborate fantasy of self-reflection, concealment, captivity. At the cage she finally cast her spell. But it was confusing, she confided at first. She took the magic doll, the magic glue, and the photo of her grandpa, and she combined them, and she wished very hard. If you like Soul Eater, then you need to finish Fire Force. I will consider it when I have time. I'm about to get a little bit busier soon, but in my free time I'll consider it. I can only assume in this fantasy that next her wish would come true. In what child's story would it not? What's happening? Okay, so let's put the doll here. Grandpappy here. Okay! The ending is such a great call out to Soul Eater. Okay, maybe I should. I do want to see the call out to Soul Eater. A tangible symbol of intention and desire. She put Grandpa in the cage, assuming that was part of the ritual. She was not clear on how it worked. What precise instructions she could glean from her grandfather's magic book was complicated by her reading comprehension. She wished with all her heart, and then she told me she waited for a while for something, anything to happen, and after that time she began to cry. We're finally growing Grandpa, guys! I cried really hard, she said. I wanted Grandpa to be back. I wanted my parents to stop being so mean. And it hurt me. It hurt me wish for Grandpa to come back, for my parents to be different. I could feel it through the walls, and it felt me through the air. I asked her what exactly she meant. I asked her what exactly she meant, yeah. She could only repeat what she said. By this time, lunch was almost over. I said goodbye to Adrian, and she left to rejoin her class. I was left to consider our conversation. I believe the storytelling strategy I have employed was not unfruitful, but I must probe deeper if I can. Although I can be sure of nothing I interpret, the impressions I get may begin to help me get an idea of the right questions to ask. Knowledge you acquired this week has given you access to certain topics or keywords you can discuss with Grandpa. You gain the conversation topic wish. Consider discussing this when Grandpa emerges. What does that mean? You have also gained the following keyword. Shell. Emerges, I know. Like, what does that mean? I do want to talk to Grandpa, though. I met again with Adrian in order to address her emotional outbursts in the past few weeks. It is our second time meeting, and while it is standard practice to have multiple sessions with a troubled student, as I assembled a report for the counseling department, I could not help but think, as we sat down in my office, that Adrian already seemed to show a remarkable change in self-esteem and confidence, and perhaps my and Mrs. Richardson's estimation of her as emotionally disturbed was erroneous. Erroneous. Let me Google that. Erroneous? Is it like, does it stem from the word error? Wrong, incorrect, yeah. Okay, it stems from the word error. If you read it to the end, let me know when you finish. Okay. The paralyzing shyness and withdrawn attitude Adrian possessed last week was not entirely diminished, but she seemed to hold herself differently this week. However, this only lasted as long as our conversation pertained to initial introductory pleasantries. When I began once again asking about her parents, her feelings regarding her new school and her new home, she quickly lost what new confidence she had gathered up and withdrew again into herself. So once again, I partook in some collaborative make-believe, but this time I was aided by the fact that I had to manage to do some research into Adrian's grandfather, and I had some insight into what she might actually be finding in the basement. Now, this may be overstepping my bounds as a school counseling caseworker, but this was all in the service of making Adrian comfortable and happy in this learning environment. Ooh, breaking the rules. In any case, I was able to dig up information regarding the grandfather by inquiring at the university in town. Now that I make it a habit of not that I make it a habit of sleuthing, but I had a suspicion of the grand wait. I had a suspicion the grandfather was a professor there, or at least some sort of researcher, due to the fact that the newly constructed laboratory on campus I drive by every day bears his name in memorial. Wait, but he was researching some weird stuff. Sorry, water. He was some sort of anthropologist or linguist or neuroscientist. I did not have to dig up that deep before the scope of his work became I can't read today. Oh my god, became dizzying and I ran up against the limits of my undergraduate education. But back to the make believe. She's so creepy. What is your grandpa like? Is he a smart man? Not anymore, but I'm teaching him. So he's grown a good deal then? You have been feeding him well? Yeah, he's getting bigger, but he has a lot of room in his cage. He's still behind the bars? Yeah, well, he might be able to climb out eventually. There's this vent in the ceiling. What? Well, perhaps if he climbs out, I could meet him someday. Yeah, maybe. But he's not ready to leave. He can't take care of himself. I have to feed him, pick up after him. Ah, you store the food in your lunchbox? That's nice of you to share. He can almost talk. You cannot speak with him? He doesn't. He doesn't have a mouth. Sort of. But how do you feed him? He has a mouth on the outside, on his shell, or the stuff that's his skin. I'm a little confused. Maybe you can go through a typical day with your grandpa? Okay. What? Yeah. I asked her to explain exactly how she goes about growing her grandpa, and Adrian began another tale. According to Adrian, in the week that had passed, much had changed in the basement. The hairy thing that was here before is gone. Your lunchbox is empty. Seek out food for Grandpa. You should go see Grandpa first, okay? Grandpa. Wake Grandpa. It was scary at first, she said, the way he moved, the way the doll's skin covered him. The dialogue is amazing, yeah. Don't look. I'm so curious. I want to look. I wanted to interject. This somehow seemed inappropriate, but I kept listening. When I look at him, she continued, when I think about him, he grows and moves. It's like he's growing for me. So he's growing bigger now? I asked. Yes, she said. Bigger every day. Oh, he's a little funky looking. This begins the actual growing part of growing your grandpa. Beneath the doll's burlap skin, the follicles knit together what resembles a proper person, your grandpa. You are in charge of its cognitive development and diet until it's able to sustain itself. Currently, you are observing Grandpa. Please click the arrow back button below for a tutorial of your duties as caretaker. Okay, let's figure out how to take care of Grandpa, guys. Here we can see a variety of options regarding growing your grandpa. Highlighted in red are objectives related to feeding and teaching Grandpa. Important messages regarding Grandpa's recent activity will also appear. Appear. No one heard that. Appear. Appear here. You will need to find it food and learning material before you can move on to the next week. Some foods will make Grandpa happy, others merely content. Some food will make Grandpa disgusted to the point of nausea. Learning materials also scattered throughout the basement. Seek out vocabulary cards intended to help teach English and basic anthropoidic concept information. The options highlighted in red are related to navigating around Grandpa's enclosure. The Go to Grandpa option will let you perform all actions directly relating to Grandpa, feeding, teaching, observing, etc. Accessing the study corner will let you go over any documents you pick up as the weeks go by. It's a good idea to learn about the work of the people who last occupied this space. Accessing the kitchen corner will let you search for food in the old refrigerator and prepare food for Grandpa if need be. The help button will replay this tutorial. The save game button will save your current progress. You can only have one save file at a time. So if you have saved data, you'll be asked if it's okay to overwrite it. The exit game button will take you back to the main menu. More buttons may or may not appear depending on your development of Grandpa, so watch out for them. One final note. Take care to explore the basement at your leisure. However, due to the entropic nature of clutter and trash, different weeks may allow you to find things you had not previously discovered. Good luck. Nice! Okay, we should probably find Grandpa some food. Bulbous growth? Something appears to be growing from the wall. You take a closer look. A pulsing sac. The slimy membrane that is its skin seems to contain something. It might be able to be opened with a blade. Okay, so we have to find a knife. We have to find food, a knife, and learning material. Trash pile. Bro, how does this place get so dirty? Like, she's just constantly picking up trash. She has a little trash can with her at all times. And then, is there any point in, like, moving the trash can? I don't know. Oh, I guess, like, if you don't want to move so much. Okay, let's see. Oh, a vocabulary card. Hello. Teach Grandpa this word to read notes of past educators. Corroded battery. This isn't really food. Grandpa might eat it, however. Okay, let's try to find Grandpa something a little more scrumptious. Let's not feed him corroded batteries. Trash. Okay, we still can't go over there. Let's look at the cabinet. Examine. Slouching under the weight of rotten refuse. So much trash. Do the parents just like dump loads of trash every week for her to clean up? Like, I don't understand. That looks like it might taste better. Not sure what it is. Clean. This space will not be dirty again until next week. Blueberries. Ooh, okay. See. That looks much better for Grandpa. Top drawer. Ah, Grandpa growing big. Yes. Oh, that's a little creepy. An account of an acquisition. Before we began, he had us all cover our faces completely. An earthenware pots was bleep, and on the inside, as we stole brief glances at it, we could see the interior was inlaid with mirrors. The bleep gave it small pieces of dough, spoiled food, chicken feed, bleep, keeping it content. Yes, you did mention that you were home alone. Okay, thank you for the lurk, Minzy. 2 exams? Oh, good luck. Oh gosh. The keeper gestured towards the small bag where the food composted and told us to be careful not to feed it any meat. No meat. I asked if the rotting food was enough to sustain it, how it might get nutrients from any of this. The keeper regarded me seriously and said it did not matter what it was fed. The act of feeding itself is what mattered. The act of feeding flesh is another act, however. He then gave me another series of grave warnings regarding not to keep any animal-derived foods near where I might be keeping it. So no meat, no animal-derived foods, guys. My brother came home, turned on the lights, left the ice cream out of the fridge, and left again. Oh, left the ice cream out of the fridge. Okay, bottom drawer. We need a key. I see. Examine this trash pile. Something about the painting looks strange. Actual ice cream. That sucks. A folder full of radiographic images. It's weird how trash just accumulates every week. Then again, I guess it's her imagination, huh? Fiberglass insulation. This isn't really food. Grandpa might eat it, however. So after learning that the act of feeding it is what's important, it doesn't matter what it's fed, I don't feel as bad feeding Grandpa corroded batteries anymore. Waste here smells particularly strong. Okay. What's your favorite ice cream hero? Out of context, your commentary is amazing. Wait, what sort of commentary? Oh, the feeding Grandpa corroded batteries. A simple paper doll. Might be useful in the construction of magic symbols. I was trying to say something like that, but my hand's messy. All clean. What is that? This is glowing. What is this? How do we open the menu? Just pressing all the buttons. Tab, escape, shift, control, M, I, J, K. How do I open the menu to see what we can feed Grandpa? Or like what we can do with Grandpa? You know what I mean? How do I do that? You're a basic person. Maybe you have to be in here to see it. Yes, you have to be in here to see it. Okay, so we still can't. We only have one word that we can teach Grandpa. Do you guys want to see Grandpa? Let's just go see Grandpa. That's so weird. Observe, attempt to communicate, teach Grandpa, or feed Grandpa. Let's observe. You examine Grandpa, noticing its movements, respiration, and general mood. Grandpa seems to be sort of sluggish and bored. You get the feeling it may be more content and readily cooperative once fed and taught a word or two. Okay, so let's feed him, so he'll be more willing to learn. Would you like to view the tutorial before you start? Yes. This brief tutorial will go over the basics of feeding Grandpa. Via induction of your unprotected insula, Grandpa has simulated the production of tooth enamel to mimic a human mouth. 180k points for what? You will need to be fed this through this. Oh, it will need to be fed through this in order to properly learn and grow. First, you need to select an item from the lunchbox. Click on the lunchbox in the bottom right corner. The contents of the lunchbox will be displayed. Just to flex? I see. Select an item from the lunchbox. Doing so will fill your hand with this item. Note that any food can be put back into the lunchbox by clicking the lunchbox with a full hand. Before Grandpa can be fed, it must judge the food by smell. Hover your hand above Grandpa's olfactory bulbs. If Grandpa's pleased, it will allow you to feed it. Most foods Grandpa will accept. However, getting Grandpa to consume other things requires some culinary deception. When Grandpa is willing to be fed, however, hover your hand over its mouth and click. Grandpa will then consume the food. Good luck on feeding Grandpa. Okay. You approach the small window. Oh. Click on Grandpa's nostrils. Wait. Left of its mouth. Okay. I think Grandpa finds this palatable. Should we feed Grandpa the blueberries? Oh, okay. The meal appears to have been sufficient. Does he need another one? I know it was like out of 2. Fiberglass or the battery? I kind of want to feed him the battery. Okay, he doesn't like it. Battery? Yeah, who cares if he doesn't like it? He eats what we give him. You're right, Fox. Oh, I can't. He won't eat it. Yeah, he won't eat it. Okay. We're gonna have to do some culinary deception later. Let's try fiberglass. He doesn't like that either. Okay. Who do we call child? Grandparent services. Senior services. You step away from the window set in the bars. Grandpa grunts in appreciation and locomotes towards its favorite corner. Okay. Maybe we teach Grandpa? Hello. Would you like to be? Yes. This brief tutorial will go over teaching Grandpa pronunciation and vocalization. I wonder if we're actually going to hear it talk. That would be pretty creepy and pretty cool at the same time. Who thought of this game? Like, who is like, I'm gonna make a game where you grow your grandpa? The vocabulary word you picked will appear in the top left corner. On the bottom right corner will be a pentagon that is divided up into 8 sections. A section of the pentagon will be highlighted briefly. Good question. Yeah. Like, who thinks of this stuff, huh? A notification sound will play, and another section will be highlighted. You will control a small round icon that sits above the pentagon using your mouse. The ball is constrained to the limits of the pentagon. The goal is to keep your icon over the highlighted area and move it as the area pentagon sections. Oh, change the sections around the. Okay, I get it. When you hold left click above the correct highlighted area, the icon will start to vibrate along with the simulated vocal cords, and the current letter word of your word will begin to turn red. Keep holding over the highlighted section and adjust your icon as it changes place. Soon the letter will become fully red. After every letter becomes red, Grandpa will proudly pronounce the word to you, and it will be considered learned. Teaching Grandpa these words will accelerate its cognitive development and lead to further breakthroughs in general intelligence. Yes, let's teach him how to say hello. I'm trying so hard. The thing on the right's really weird, yeah. And then it keeps like moving my mouse, even though I don't want it to. Deep within Grandpa's strange membranes, phonate confidently. That didn't sound like he said hello, but okay. Having completed the lesson, you take a look back at the back of the vocabulary module card and the notes there written by administrators of the past. Hello, part of vocabulary and vocalization module A2 conversational basics, general pronunciation comments, sloppy articulation, module comments, see below. We are already encountering some difficulty as Whisker's subjectivity is so much determined by a diverse and dynamic array of influences. It attempts to mimic the thoughts and desires it passively intercepts, and these imitations go on to structure the basis of its identity. Only later in Whisker's growth cycle does it begin to form an identity that are coherent and capable of resembling a sane, rational human being when engaged in conversation. One must imagine how hard it would be to converse with someone who is not yet oriented in one particular way towards who or how they are, because they might have 20 different honest answers to those questions, all of them mixed and muddled together. Because of this, we have started with the basics of conversation, greetings, partings, identifying one another, forming questions, etc., etc. It is fortunate Whisker's current growth, number 19 I believe, has developed a mostly accurate human mouth simulation. Hello was a bit of a challenge in the previous growth as it failed to develop an adequate organ to act as a human tongue. You step away from the bars and store the module card at the document table. Look over documents. Oh! So here, read more. The sample's exposure to some... Oh wait, there's another page. These don't seem that important. Oh yeah, the radiographs. We never got to look at the radiographs. Why can't we look at the radiographs? Paper doll, exit. A set of procedures regarding disposal and interment. The researcher will seal off the enclosure bars, ensuring minimal gas leakage during the later fumigating process, and then retrieve the burn barrel and replace it near burn barrel. Allow at least 48 hours of time where the current growth cycle experiences no human-related stimuli. Do not enter the enclosed area nor any part of the basement. Ideally, you will not be on the grounds at all. After 48 hours, 2 researchers will enter the basement wearing their assigned mirror mask, mirror apron, and powered air purifying respirator. The researcher will use the vent system to fumigate the enclosed area, wait 30 minutes, and then use the fan system to ventilate the enclosure. Keep the fans running during steps 3 through 4. Re-enter the enclosure area wearing your assigned mirror mask and aprons. The organs may or may not be in complete dormancy. If it is not in full dormancy, be assured that its capacity to act against you will be greatly diminished. With your assigned powered drills, quickly remove any enclosure bars needed to access the organism. Put aside for later reinstallation. Put the organism into the burn barrel. Incinerate the organs thoroughly. Wait for any smoke to be properly cleaned by the fan system. Turn off the fans. One researcher will remove the nucleus from the ash and place it into the mirror box. What? The other researcher will sift through the ash and place any other substantial remains in the biohazard bin in the room outside of the enclosure area. The bin is locked for safety purposes. The code is... Ooh, we have a code. Where's a pen? 323245. 323245. The researcher will fill out a termination form and leave it for Dr. Hart. Conversation topic, biohazard bin. Okay. File cabinet 1. So much trash. Ooh, he might be able to eat that. But that kind of looks like it might be like sausages. We're not supposed to feed him meat, so... Okay, it was said to pass from one family of steppe people to another, but pressed on its ultimate origin bleep somewhere to the south, coiled in a bowl covered in incantations, buried upside down by a graveyard, a common late antiquity demon trap. The keeper, an elderly man in failing health, was ready to expound on and on about the dangers of the organism, but when I asked more pointed questions about the history of its acquisition, I was given curt responses that had a way of circling back to vague warnings. Cashews. Oh, yeah, okay, Grandpa might like that. He can learn how to say Grandpa! It looks like the bottom of this can open. Yeah, you just take this tape off. You remove the tape down fabric to reveal the cabinet's wooden bottom. Okay, research participants, please take note. Each growth form from a cycle does not require a shell, but you may find the sample will often try and seize on something somewhat flexible it can grow into, along with any desirous yield it may generate, or else it will move from one shell to the next as it outgrows them. In the small amount of time I have spent with it in preparation, I have noticed it tends towards human forms. However, we should keep a tight lid on the anthropoidic seal. Hi, welcome! Logan Robo, thank you so much for the raid. Hello, hello, raiders. We are playing some Growing My Grandpa today. Hello, Small Bean. Is it Rokov? How do you grow your grandpa? Well, Small Bean, that is what we are finding out today. Yeah, this game was recommended by a friend. And so far it's kind of creepy, kind of interesting. Yeah, how was stream? Right now we're looking up things that we can teach Grandpa and feed Grandpa around the basement. Yeah, I tried feeding him a corroded battery earlier, but he didn't quite like that. It sounds like a really weird farming simulator or a horror game. I was expecting it to be cute. Oh, I mean, cute is subjective. Yeah, no problem. Everyone in chat, go check out Logan Robo's channel. Excuse me, you fed him a battery? I tried to feed him a battery. He doesn't like corroded battery. Sounds like a finicky eater. I know, right? So ungrateful. In the small amount of time I have spent with it in preparation, I have noticed it tends towards human forms. We should keep a tight lid on the anthropoidic seal in order to be cautious before we begin to experiment with exposing it long term to anthropoidic stimuli, whatever that means. Okay, to my colleagues, I don't mean to be overly severe in tone, but Dr. Hart's work is very important and the material we are working with is potentially very dangerous. I will be handing out a copy of this note as a reminder to everyone. I'm not trying to single any particular person out. We all have misconceptions about the nature of this project from time to time. With that out of the way, here are some things to keep in mind. The active growth must be thoroughly terminated via the correct procedures at the very least 4 weeks after dormancy is interrupted. And there's a lot of reading and a lot of like, I don't know what's going on. But it's fun interacting with Grandpa. We are in the first week, and I think there's 5 weeks total. It doesn't matter what you've done or haven't done regarding tests or procedures or how much the. Thank you for joining the Sweets collection. Fun, you say. Let's see. A step-by-step guide to termination has been posted by the enclosure wall. Do not disturb the anthropoidic vacuum without Dr. Hart's prior consultation and approval. In case of any emergency where the vacuum is disrupted, put on your equipment and begin the lockdown procedure. So the way that this game first started was we're interviewing this young girl named Adrian whose parents put her in the basement and she's like, I found some cool stuff in the basement. Like there was this magic glue and this magic doll and I found a photo of Grandpa and I miss Grandpa so I'm gonna grow Grandpa. And like we're talking to her as if she's making all this up and then as she tells the story we kind of play through what she's been doing. So we put Grandpa together, like we put the little creepy voodoo doll thing with the photo and we glued it together and we put it in the cage and Grandpa kind of like formed and like we're trying to feed him and talk to him, teach him words. That's sad and creepy. Yeah. So we don't know how much of it is real, how much of it is fake. If you find the habitat empty, page Dr. Hart immediately, but do not attempt to speak with anyone else. This thing can get very smart. I'm sure you're all well aware from the stories we heard on our acquisition trip. The greatest caution should be used when dealing with a potential aggressive mimicry scenario. Please seek me out if you have any more questions. That's where grandpas come from? Exactly. Everyone grows them themselves. Where else do you get grandpas from? This is why you don't grow grandpas. You slip the radiographic images you found into the machine's display. Oh, we get to see stuff? Propagation. Day 19 after dormancy. And broken, yes. Term at 21 days. No, it's... Oh, it would help to put... I knew that. Intriguing results with regard to the mimic hypothesis. A participant entered a sealed chamber adjacent to the whiskers growth cycle 21, which had been freed from the anthropoidic vacuum. Let's see. The first propagation's original earthenware vacuum was shattered during the move-in. Between the two, there was a semi-opaque glass panel that allowed observation both ways. The human participant was asked to think of someone in the popular consciousness, fiction or not, and there's so many big words. Cogitate, cogitate on their image, personality, face if possible, voice if possible, etc. Our participant chose Jesus of Nazareth, and with weekly repeated exposures to the participant's imaginings, propagation number 21 began forming what resembled an anthropoid Nazarene in the fold of its spines. So we're also finding in the basement that there are these documents and stuff of experiments done in the past where they were growing people. Not sure if it's real or not, or if this child is imagining all these things. Previous human-oriented tests have always bore out a result that Whiskers would form an anthropoid team member, be it me or Dr. Hart or Gerald, and we assumed it was merely mimicking one of us. Dr. Hart has always contended the desirous yield, or the anthropoid reproduction Whiskers creates when in contact with human beings, has always been based on the conception and relation to the person through someone else. With this framework, the desirous yield is not actually a replica of a person, or if it is, it's only a replica of the fiction of a person generated in the mind of another. This desirous yield was not Jesus Christ, but the participants' image of Jesus, assembled from their religious upbringing, religious work, depictions in popular culture, etc. I'm sure it's real. These sorts of games are basically documentaries. Yes, I can Google growing grandpas in basement cages. This radiograph was taken right before the destruction of the growth cycle while Whiskers was rendered unconscious via fumigation. I do think there's probably tons of experiments going on that hasn't been brought out to the public eye yet though. Like really like crazy stuff. It seems like with every successive propagation, the stem cells in the organism work a little faster. But I'm not paranoid. It's technically deathless, yes, but we're burning up whatever knowledge it's gained when we incinerate it. I don't believe in magic just yet. Do all of them have that much reading? We have taken to calling it whiskers, though of course some have interpreted it as hair or needles or quills, but whiskers is more accurate, as the needles are really more like suprasensory follicles or spines. The nerve nets distributed throughout the morphology of these spines resemble those of the genus Hydra, but have myelin sheaths that are functionally the same as vertebrae. As we can see it in the X-ray, each spine is laden with dense optical arrangements similar to compound eyes. The Hydra connection is assuredly worth investigated with regard to the organism's capacity for regeneration and anecdotal deathlessness. It's certain is a robust. Wait, it's certain a robust enough creature to inspire. Oh my gosh! Pretend you didn't hear that. Inspire marvel that is not untinged with fear. What am I looking at? So I guess these are all the past experiments, and then they were terminated at like this one was 16 days. The first one was 21 days. These are like failed experiments, maybe. Exposure to mammalian forms, part of a series of zoomorphic influences, led to the further understanding of the propagation's ability to simulate the somatic stem cells that constitute fully developed animals. Yeah, so speaking of mammalians, or animals in general, we saw an instruction guide that said do not feed grandpa, or do not feed it like any sort of flesh or meat or anything that derives from animals. And what we feed it isn't very important. It's more like the act of feeding it is what matters. So that's why I tried to feed him a corroded battery, but he didn't quite like it. He didn't like the smell of it. It smelled very artificial and sterile. So maybe if we can make it smell like something else, he'll eat it. I write simulate in the previous statement because examining the tissue of each propagation leads me to believe its amazing capacity for accelerated growth of vastly different forms comes from its cell-level mutability. And yet at no time does it function as the thing it becomes, except in the sense that it mimics it. That is to say, when Whiskers is removed from dormancy and replicates a rabbit's morphology, it is not seeing from the rabbit's eyes nor smelling from the rabbit's nose, but pretending that it does, and doing a very good job at it. Okay, so we finished going over here. We found another piece of food that we could give Grandpa, so let's try feeding him that. Yeah, we got cashews. I'm sure he'll like cashews. So we have to let him smell it first, and then if he likes it, he'll eat it. Okay, he seems indifferent to it. The meal appears to have been sufficient. Okay, Grandpa accepted it. Let's go back out. Grandpa grunts in appreciation and locomotes towards its favorite corner. Okay, and then we found another word that we can teach Grandpa, so let's try to do that. The mechanic for teaching him words is kind of finicky, but we taught him how to say hello, and now we're going to teach him how to say Grandpa. This is totally a cute farming simulator, guys. Deep within Grandpa, strange membranes phonate confidently. That sounded like you said Grandpa, right? Having completed the lesson, you take a look back at the vocabulary module card and the notes there written by the administrators of the past. He learned that one so fast. Yeah, compared to hello, hello took forever. Grandpa. Part of vocabulary and vocalization module E81 family. General pronunciation comments. Usual trouble with articulation, voice thin, raspy, possibly underdeveloped larynx. Module comments see below. We have done several sessions of what we are calling familial relation simulation. I and a co-researcher sit in chairs opposite the enclosure. We are wearing the usual masks and we begin to act out a scene, mostly through improvisation. Improvisation, I'm saying that correctly, right? That might roughly resemble a kitchen table conversation between an immediate family. So much reading! Repeated trials would reveal although our simulated conversation was purposely vague and unspecific regarding persons and identities, we would only address each other as brother, father, sister, etc. It soon became apparent the encoded information associations we unconsciously drawn upon when hearing and speaking these words was being picked up on by Whiskers and its psi-type field of reception, interpretation of brain, mind, events, semantic content. My co-researcher William noticed this, and in a simulation where Whiskers was given the role as a sister and he was a brother, I was the father. Error, error, error. That's a cute emote. Whiskers began responding to certain prompts with unusual what? Specificity. Specificity. As well as a general pattern and timbre of speech that continued with unusual consistency. That's Grandpa after being fed a strict diet of eroded batteries. As soon as the simulation ended and we left the enclosure area, William let me know that Whiskers was almost certainly drawing from encoded memories of his late sister. Mapping out exactly what regions and centers of neural activity are intercepted by the psi-type field will take extensive neuroimaging that we do not have at this site. Currently, we only have less precise portable equipment. However, our experiences so far are eerily in line with folk knowledge and folk explanations regarding the being's access to desires, and we can begin to infer it has access to certain portions of the limbic system and the ventral temporal cortex. All of Callie's emotes are cute. She has a magnificent artist's bee she drew blindfolded. Seriously? She drew that blindfolded, or are you saying it as like a way to praise them? Because if she actually put on a blindfold and was like, "I'ma draw a bee," and came out with that, then that's crazy. You step away from the bars and store the module card at the document table. Okay, so we're done with this week. Let's save for now. Okay. Let's go to the kitchen and see what it is. She literally did draw it blindfolded. It's a what? That's crazy. Oh, look, we can prepare food. Maybe if we make the battery seem... Oh, soft fruit or vegetable, unappealing item. Oh. Okay, maybe if we can find like more fruit. Ah, I should have used the blueberries. Dang it. This one's another blindfolded one. What is that? Carl. Oh, from Jimmy Neutron? She's the first artist I followed and subscribed to on Twitch. Yeah, that's crazy. That's insane. That's really awesome. Search upper fridge. Lettuce. That's gross. Not that lettuce is gross, okay, but it look the the way that the lettuce looked was gross. Banana. Brown banana. So if I were to like put the banana and then put the battery, conceal. Wow. Okay, we can hide like I don't see the point in hiding the battery and making grandpa eat it, but let's do that next week. Okay, let's end this week. Let's save. End the week. Because we have good progress. We taught grandpa a lot, we fed grandpa a lot. Weekly summary. Foods acquired. Documents acquired. Hopefully there's not that many documents next week, because geez, that was a lot. She inspired my dance and cheer emote. Yeah, those are super cute. Knowledge you acquired this week has been given you access to new conversation topic to discuss with grandpa. Language. So grandpa can't talk yet, but when he can, we'll be able to talk to him about language. Ah, more reading. Oh my gosh. You're IQ too. Oh, stop. No, you. Okay. I'm going to take a quick potty break. I'm gonna get more water because I've been reading so much and my voice is insane. And I might grab a small snack. I will be right back. Oh, here we go. I am back. Thank you guys so much for waiting. Okay, more reading. Let's go. Wait, hold on. Let me take a sip of water. Thank you. I'm so excited to see Grandpa's development. Yeah, I have to test my mic when I come back because I turn it off. Okay. Miss Richards approached me the other day in order to remark on Adrian's development. She noted how much more at ease she appeared when called upon in class, or when asked to participate in group exercises. I told her I'd seen this change happening as well, and that as much as I would like to take credit for it, I can only guess dimly at what might be reshaping her attitude. No, I saw the bar moving. I see my character moving. I am not muted. Nice try, though. Mrs. Richards po- posited that it was perhaps Adrian's family moving into their grandfather's property that caused the change. It's apparently It apparently is out in the country, in a wooded area, full of wide open space and far from the bustle and noise of the city. The grandfather, Dr. Jacob Hart, had jointly purchased the land with the university he was employed with and began constructing what he was intending to be a satellite campus for burgeoning. What are these words? Psychological anthropology program he had a hand in establishing. Only one building, however, ended up being constructed after Dr. Hart died in a car accident when driving back from the property one day. Eerily, at almost at the exact same time, a grad student who was assisting Dr. Hart on some sort of project at the property vanished without a trace. A little bit more water. Also, I ended up grabbing a slice of pizza. I meant to grab a snack. I grabbed pizza. Do you guys have a favorite pizza? The property sat in disuse for years as it was tied up in legal battles between Dr. Hart's next of kin, the university, the vanished grad student's family, and the other students Dr. Hart was working with. Eventually, the case was settled out of court. Only recently did the property fall into the possession of Adrian's mother. Obviously, I was not going to relay this whole tragedy story to Adrian, who, for all I know, believes her grandfather to still be living in the basement of his home. Besides, I thought she might already know all this. Perhaps the elaborate story she was constructing was her own way of escaping the morbid details of a life, or perhaps lives, cut short by the cruel force of fate and the cynical adults who squabbled in the aftermath. I determined perhaps the storytelling she was and continues to engage in should not be encouraged by me, at least not in the way I went about it before, where I made active inquiries into her strange fantasy of a semi-sentient ball of skin. When I saw Adrian, I did not bring up her grandpa or ask questions about his growth. Adrian could not stop talking about it, however. I had no choice but to weather her bizarre and enthusiastic effusions about her new best friend. Adrian, maybe we can talk about something else. I'm not sure I'm following you exactly. He's gotten so big. He has so many whiskers that come out, and I can see them move around when I think about him. I'm not sure what you mean. I'm so happy Grandpa's back. He's so much cooler than Mom and Dad. Once again, for what it's worth, I have put down the story she told me as best as I could. Adrian once again told me about growing her grandpa. Okay, let's go see Grandpa. LMAO, sorry, Mom and Dad. Yeah. You guys aren't cool enough. Take another bite. Ooh, you're especially pokey this week, Grandpa. You examine Grandpa, noting its movements, respiration, and general mood. Grandpa's gums are bleeding slightly, and its skin seems overly dry. It may need a food packed with vitamin C. A kiwi fruit would be an excellent remedy. We will try to find Grandpa a kiwi. Right now, all we have is Concealed battery, lettuce, and fiberglass. So let's try to go find Grandpa some kiwi. We have a pear. Um, what is this? A strawberry. Let's conceal the fiberglass into the pear. Let's see. Let's save. And let's go look around to get Grandpa some food. How does this place get so dirty every week? I know I ask that all the time, but it's just so weird. She just carries around this trash can. This looks like kiwi! Nice! Let's look at the bulbous growth. We still don't have a knife. I don't think we can look over here without a light. Okay. Let's go through the cabinet again. Take a bite. There was nothing here. I cleaned up all that trash for nothing. Oh my god. So what happened to mom and dad? Is she Batman? So the way her story goes is that her mom and dad are the people who put her in the basement. They gave her a trash can, put her in the basement, and told her to clean up. So that's why we have a trash can and we pick up all these pieces of paper. Let's go. There's nothing here. Mm. Okay, we still don't have a key. Let's look at this trash pile. Oh, we got a new card this week. Potato. Okay. Life. We can teach Grandpa how to say life. Indecision. Okay. There's another bulbous growth. Okay, so we have two now. Let's see. So we have the two words to teach Grandpa. Let's feed Grandpa first. Let's give him the kiwi. And then let's feed him the concealed battery. Did anything happen? Although quickly consumed, the meal seems to be causing some indigestion. I feel bad though, because we gave him the kiwi to heal his gums, right? But then we immediately give him the battery, so maybe that wasn't a good idea. And with a sudden lurch, Grandpa empties its stomach onto the floor. The contents pool together in front of the cage. Ooh, maybe we'll be able to get stuff from the floor. Okay, wait. No? Oh yeah, examine stomach contents. Key! Still somewhat wet. Okay, let's feed Grandpa some more. If we feed him the fiberglass, will he puke a bit more? What did he say? Oh, he refuses to. He grows. He learns. He's like, you fed me poison last time. Okay. Hmm. Let's just feed him lettuce. Do I have to give him one more? Yeah. I think Grandpa's favorite thing was the lettuce, right? Adult cotton candy? What? I've never thought of that in that way before. You do have a point there. Okay, so we can teach Grandpa, but first let's go use this key. I think on the cabinet, right? And then the bottom drawer. Yes. A photo of your mother as a young woman. Oh, when you guys were reinstalling the roof. Can I get another doll and make my mom? No? Okay, let's go teach Grandpa some new words and we can move on to next week. Let's teach him about life first. Oh yeah, fiberglass is crazy. You don't want to get that in your eye. You don't want to breathe it in. Yeah, be careful. Okay. At week 3 of growth number 24, Whiskers appeared to recall some information from a previous growth cycle. We cannot be sure that this was really the case. For all we know, what we interpreted as it recollecting information was really it drawing semantic content from one of our recollections of it and redeploying it without rationality or contextualization. For the sake of our safety and for the sake of unscientific inquiry, we're attempting to draw out from Whiskers whether it somehow retains knowledge from previous cycles in its morpholactic nucleus. We did not think it was possible the nucleus, though complex and incredible in its regenerative abilities, was capable of this, and that the nerve network that grew from it made up the base of Whisker's mind. And so we are now attempting to ask Whiskers as best we can if it has ever died, or what it might remember if it did. Okay, let's teach Grandpa about the meaning of indecision. Oh, that sounded like he actually said indecision. Did you guys hear that? That was crazy. Like the other one just sounded him saying like random stuff, but this one it actually sounded like he was like indecision. Ah, that's crazy. We are introducing the latest growth of whiskers to more subtle social cues and testing its ability to judge mental states of participants in conversation. The semantic context that flows to whiskers via its psi field is still becoming muddled and slipped out without distinction into conversation, although our intention of instilling in it a solid theory of mind will perhaps make it begin to understand that we do not know what it knows, or know what we are, without our control sending to it. One would think a theory of mind seems to develop as part of its maturation process. In order to hunt sapient beings, it must be able to deceive them. In order to deceive, it must be able to make certain metacognitive judgments. For example, if their deception appears to be working, or how one ought to be deceived. We may never see it develop a theory of mind anytime soon, as Dr. Hart has disallowed a cycle of whiskers to grow to live into the beginnings of maturity. Okay, so next week, let's try feeding Grandpa the fiberglass. The time I have to spend compiling an evaluation on Adrian is almost up, and I still can't say what to make of her changes in mood. It is, of course, the case that children of Adrian's age are nowhere near finished learning and growing. I may have to simply be happy that Adrian was able to improve her attitude. However, from like eating, Pappy is doing okay. He learned like things like life, indecision. We fed him the corroded battery. Did you just say feed him fiberglass? Yeah, that is exactly what I said. So we fed him the corroded battery, and then in turn, he puked up a key that we used to find a picture of our mother in a safe in the basement. So we're gonna try feeding him the fiberglass. Maybe he'll puke up something else. However, something in the odd and occasionally grotesque story she continues to bring up to me still strikes me as meaningful. How has your week been, Adrian? Grandpa is almost ready. He's almost finished. Well, sort of. Ah, he's almost as big as his shell now. He has a face and he can talk pretty well. Oh, and this week when we taught him the word indecision, he actually said it like it was crazy. Like it actually sounded like he said the word indecision. It wasn't just like jumbled up noises. And almost has legs. I see. As before, I have put down the story she told me as best I could. Once again, Adrian told me about growing her grandpa. He's learning. Yes, I know. Okay, let's go check on grandpa. Let's save. Let's observe him. That's a little creepy. He looks like an actual person now, but a little different. Grandpa seems fatigued and almost anemic. Some of its spines appear brittle. Perhaps it would be more cooperative if fed an iron-rich meal like meat. But we're not supposed to feed it meat. Hmm. Examine stomach contents. Nothing else. Feed it iron, like actual iron. Okay, let's go look around. Maybe we'll get a knife this week so we could cut open the bulbous sacs. What has iron? Eroded batteries, but we fed him that last week. Let him starve. I don't think I'll be able to progress if I do. I wonder if there's like different endings depending on how you feed Grandpa. A bar of soap. It's not really food. Grandpa might eat it, however. I guess we're gonna feed him soap, guys. We still don't have a knife. This is kind of like chill, you know, like therapeutic, just cleaning up trash. Meaning. Okay, we could teach him meaning. I'm literally just waiting for one of these dolls' eyes to open one week. They're so creepy. There's nothing here this week. It's weird that I can't grab these photos, but whatever. There's another bulbous growth. There's 3 now. We need a knife, guys. Cleaning and feeding him daily. This is like the horror version of Tamagotchi. Yes, that's what Fox was saying earlier. Yeah. We want him to grow up nice and intelligent. I just don't know how this trash accumulates every week. Do our parents just purposely put trash down here every week? Why can't you feed him meat? In one of the documents it said to uh like don't feed them flesh or anything derived from animals, if that makes sense. Like, so meat would be a bad idea. Flatbread. Like, I don't know, maybe it'll turn him into like a cannibal or something. Okay, so we don't have much. Let's try checking the fridge. An apple. A jackfruit. Sounds like the work of some vegans. I know, no meat, no animal derived product. Prepare food. Okay, so we have the apple. Let's see if Grandpa will eat the bar soap. No, let's just, make it nice for him. Okay. So should we feed him the soap this week? Or here, let me check the lunchbox. We don't have any meat. Let's try feeding him the concealed insulation and the soap. And then maybe he'll puke up something else that's useful. Do we even have 2 things to teach him? Let's see. Let's try teaching him first. No, we only have 1. So there's somewhere that I haven't looked thoroughly enough. That one didn't sound like it too much. The indecision one was the best. We further delve into abstraction with Whiskers, partially or perhaps for the most part for the purpose of determining the origin of its recollections that precede its death. Dr. Hart has begun to theorize that in the process of death, the structure of Whiskers is compressed back into the morpholactic nucleus, and then later, upon re-establishing the nerve netting that is laced through its spines, is slowly reassembled and redeployed as needed. In the shush, shush. I do not think this is the case, for I can plainly see that for growth cycles in which Whiskers is not receiving our pronunciation and vocabulary lessons that its capacity general for comprehending its environment is greatly diminished. Shinra versus Captain Hibana fight 3 times. Does that come after episode 7? And in the simulated conversations we carry out, Whisker struggles greatly or else does not participate. In the beginning? No, I have not. I'll check it out after stream. You have to send it to me on Discord. In any case, we'll press on with our lessons and heed Captain Hibana. Is that the girl? The girl with the... I don't remember too much. Does she have flowers in her eyes? Caution regarding terminating the growth cycle before Whisker's allotted growth time passes, or if it appears to be becoming just a little too competent at appearing human. Oh, yeah, I probably saw it then. Okay, so we're missing a flashcard. We need some sort of light. Oh, we have to search in here too. Oh my gosh. Literally knocks her out saying he's helping her. What a Chad. Are those coins iron? I can double check. Oh, they are, but I can't pick them up, unfortunately. Still haven't found anything. And we still haven't found anything like a knife. We need some sort of knife. We need a light. And now we need another, thing. Like, what can I do with this glue? Oh, see, we have mom. And the paper. Oh my gosh. Okay, wait. What can I do with that, though? Can I give it to Grandpa? I don't have any vocabulary words. What can I do with that? Yeah, I need some form of light. Okay. Did I not examine the cabinet good enough? Sorry. Thank you. I don't know anywhere else I'm supposed to look. Oh, never mind. Haha. I knew there was another trash pile. Oh, good. Another card that we could teach Grandpa. Oh, what is that? Mushroom. Okay. Symbol. Okay, now we have everything that we need to end this week. Next week, they'll probably give us a knife or something. And next week may be the last week. So let's try to feed him the insulation. Yes, puke! Puke up a knife! Let's go! Let's check what he puked up. He's so upset. Poor Grandpa. Go to Grandpa, examine stomach. Scissors. Okay, I think that might be good enough. Let's feed you again. Let's check where he puked. Yeah, out of context, that might be amazing. Let's feed him the soap. We're just constantly making Grandpa puke over here. Shush! Out of contents, yeah. And he gave us a flashlight. It's okay, Cotton. Everyone makes mistakes. Okay, let's feed him something nice. Let's feed him the strawberry. Great content. 10 out of 10 will show up every stream. Okay, Grandpa should be fully fed. Let's teach him the final word, and then we can go um, cut open those bulbuses and check that corner. That one was kind of creepy. There appears to be nothing written here, or if there was, it was thoroughly erased. Nice! No reading! I like that one. Okay. Let's go cut open those bulbuses. In the oily cavity, a powerful smell of rot arises and many small, inchoate beings lying motionless and dead. However, you just barely hear the near silent slithering of something. Or maybe it's just your imagination. What am I grabbing? I miss picking up trash. Oh, that one's alive. It's meat. Do you think that this is meat that we could feed Grandpa? Anthropod Remnant 1. A self-sufficient animal form knit together from years of ambient thoughts left to crawl around the basement. Grandpa may enjoy the flesh. I don't think we can feed him anything else this week, though. Little friends. Meat! Okay, there's a bulbous growth here as well. I wouldn't. Okay, good night, Fox. Thank you for watching. I will. Sweet dreams. They're kind of cute, no? The way it's just like flapping around like that. Arthropod remnant 2. Maybe there's two endings. Like, do you think so? Like, one where we give him meat and one where we don't? Okay, where's the last bulbous growth? Right here. Yeah, I'll have to save. But it says you can only have one save file at a time, so I'll have to save before giving him the meat. Let's save at the end of this week. Not as cute as you. Imagine if they were cuter. Imagine. Look at it. It's like just flopping around. Okay, so the last place we can check is here. Bookshelf. Another paper doll. Oh, please don't make me read the book. A is me for Oops, I forgot to read it. That's okay. What was the code? 323245. Cute is a questionable way to describe them. Cute is subjective, Hashi. The lid unlocks and with some effort you move the heavy lid off the bin. A photo of your father as a young man. Our father rocked some long hair, huh? Now we can make one. Oh, dad, paper doll glued together. Nice. Okay, let's go check. Okay, wait, let's save. Let's go check the study corner because we just picked up that new one. This, yeah. Read more. Oh, let me take a sip of water. Oh gosh, so much reading. On the on the virtue of the prudent when dealing with devils seen or unseen. The splendors and terrors of God's creations inhabit the world of both seen and unseen, and just as one will not grapple with a lion, lest they be a fool, one will not approach a being of the mind or aether without foreknowledge thereof. There are beings with no form, hiding between towering columns of air, and only appearing by slipping into the heart of mind or heart or mind of evil and unclean men. There we go. But still there are more beings which straddle the realm between the seen and unseen, creatures feeling through the air to see the heart of mind or mind of men. It is only by God's grace and his angels and servants crushing these beings under heel that a magician might compel them to the magician's will, and so a magician must be perfectly clear and unerring in the intent and ritual granted to us by God, or else the devils, unseen or unseen, will devour them, that being their nature. On the nourishing of devils of a particular type. Ooh, see, particular type. They were saying we shouldn't give them meat. Certain devils of a particular nature, unearing, oh, okay, unearing, are nourished by the element of fire. Thank you. Others by attention and prayer given to their idols. Still others by stranger and more obscure means. By God's grace, the requirement for the nourishing a devil as part of a contract only requires a token of these givings, that is, a symbol. That doesn't sound scientific at all. What kind of doctor wrote this? I know this sounds very cult-like. Very religiously cult-like. If a devil hungers after flesh, it would strip a man to his bones in its devouring. The devil's hunger in nature, which thirsts for flesh, can be held in abeyance in the ritual act of giving blood in only a few drops. However, the contract must be compelled in full, for if the magician errs and does not provide in the devil instruction and guidance, the devil, once abjured, do not do harm upon the magician, will return to its devouring nature. So, I don't know. What's the moral of the story? Take care, Grandpa. Okay, so Grandpa. Oh, we still need to feed Grandpa. I forgot. If he pukes, that doesn't count. So let's see. What do we have? I don't know. Should we feed him the... It says he wants iron, but we probably shouldn't, huh? Okay, let's just try to not feed him that kind of stuff. We saved after all. Let's give him some flatbread. The mushroom. I think that's all for this week, right? Yes, we can end the week. Week 5. I believe this is the last week. Possibly. Who could that be? Come in. Ah, Adrian, good to see you. Aren't you a little early? No matter. I suppose I have some time now. How have you been? How is your grandpa doing? That's why I want to talk to you. Something happened. Oh, what happened? Nothing bad, I hope. Nothing bad, just different, I think. Maybe even good. Well, I'll tell you about it. Well, last night something woke me up. There was this noise at first. It was like it came from the walls. I could hear it from my bedroom. But there was something else. Something calling. I could hear it just barely. I was afraid somehow Grandpa hurt himself. I had to go find out. I went downstairs and the vent, the place where I first found Grandpa, or what I grew him with, it was open. Do you remember how I told you about the vent in the ceiling behind the bars? I was thinking he had climbed up into it. He had gotten so big he could have done that. Maybe he got entrapped somehow in the vent. I had to go see. Oh no. Open vent. I got inside. I heard the calling again, more clearly this time. Grandpa was definitely in the vent somewhere. I could feel him hearing my thoughts. I got a weird feeling, a sense in the air. I had to go forward. Grandpa? Why are you in the vent? As I moved closer, the vent had stuff in it. The kind of slimy, hairy stuff Grandpa would leave around a lot. He was definitely close. Is it 'cause I didn't give you meat? Something was there at the end. But it wasn't Grandpa. It looked maybe like he had made it, though. It was slumped in the corner. It had a weird mouth and it had lungs on the outside and drew in just enough air to call out. And then it just stopped. Stopped breathing. And then something was hanging over me. And then I woke up in my bed. In your bed? Adrian, it sounds like it was just quite dreadful dream. Are you alright, by the way? Your face is twitching, like you're about to have a violent sneeze. That's a weird thing to tell someone. Your face is twitching, like you're about to have a violent sneeze. I'm fine, it's just Grandpa, you see. It took me a while to figure it out, but later when I was brushing my teeth, I saw one of Grandpa's whiskers poking just out of the space under my eye. And I started to remember how in the vent he hid inside of me. What? It was so fast I could barely remember, but soon I started to feel him sliding around in my head, behind my forehead, and behind my eyes and nose. It doesn't hurt at all, it's just ticklish. I'm glad I can be with him. Oh, I can feel him now. I think he wants to meet you. Part of him is moving down my arm. Oh. I'm starting to get worried, Adrian. You really should not be twitching like this. I should walk you to the nurse's office. Come on, let's go. You should really meet him. I've told you so much about him here. What are you doing? Adrian, you're starting to look very ill. Please, just wait. Just stay still. He's gathering. Waiting at my fingertips. Ha, classic grandpa. With Hashi. Oh, why do you look like that? You don't have to be afraid. Look. Loading, please wait. What happened? Did it freeze? Oh. There are two endings in growing my... Oh, we failed! So, here, let's continue. And then now let's feed Grandpa the stuff. We can only feed him two, though. Let's try to feed him all of them, but I think we can only feed him two. Grandpa seems excited by the flesh smell. Oh yeah, are we supposed to be able to talk to Grandpa too? Wait, he doesn't want to eat the meat? Let's go observe him. Okay, we could do more stuff with him. Let's examine proboscis. You motion to Grandpa to approach and point to the thin protuberance. Grandpa silently ambles closer to the bars and fully extends it towards you. A minuscule needle extends from its tip. There seems to be one more thing you must give, if only for the sake of propriety. Something I give? I don't have anything to give. Huh. Let's see. Let's offer the mother doll. Offer the father doll? No, he doesn't want it. Oh, we can communicate with him now. Okay. The inner grandpa, though still not fully formed, is revealed. It may be fruitful to speak with it if it can respond. What the heck? Ask about wish. Ask about grandpa's shell. Ask about the biohazard bin. Ask about language, little friends. Here, ask about the proboscis, because I want to know what I have to give him. Hey, it looks like an actual grandpa, look. Maybe touch the needle in the proboscis? Okay, I'll try that after. Grandpa loudly clears his throat before gently responding in a lucid, well-projected voice. Oh, you're asking me about my proboscis? It's just a little tube I keep to help me feed on blood. You could say it's my real mouth, but it's not really a mouth. It appears because you fed me flesh, one of those little friends you found, I think. You feeding me flesh was a symbol, a proposition, if you will, that you wanted to hold up to your end of the bargain with regards to your wish. If someone is willing to hold up their end of the bargain and let me feed on them with my proboscis, then they can move on to the next step of the agreement, providing me symbolic instructions. Okay, so I think we have to give him some of our blood, because that's also what the book said too, right? Just a couple drops of blood as an offering. I hope that helps clear things up. Oh, another question. Do I like blood? Well, my whiskers, I believe they like blood and the flesh. It's strange. They are me and yet they are now me. I am bound to them. They control me, and technically, yes, they did make me. However, you are the one who really grew me. In some ways, those whiskers, they are me, or a part of myself, or I am a part of it. That part is much more animal-like. Whatever might happen, know that I will always love you, and because it controls me, I might not be able to act how I would like, even if I do love you. Okay. Let's ask about the little friends. Are you asking me about my little friends? Well, yes, they come from me. They grow around me in pockets of flesh and protoplasm. Think of them like dreams. Maybe I'll explain. Have you ever had a dream that was sort of like a bunch of people, places, and events you experienced all mixed up together and jumbled up? That's sorting through and disposing of the refuse of the mind. My little friends are like that, refuse. And in ridding myself of them, I am casting off the excess material I did not use in developing life forms. Anyone who comes close to me, well, they are my eyes, my nose, my skin. Their thoughts become mine and shape what I make. However, when I was alone for so long, I didn't have a lot of people near me. What are you what you are thinking and expecting of me is shaping what I'm saying, how I'm saying it. Do you understand? And so, because I did not have enough input from my surroundings in order to put the material to use, the material falls off my body, crawls away, and usually dies. I'm able to make the most of my material when someone is looking at me, projecting who I'll be, like you are now. What you are thinking and expecting of me is shaping what I'm saying, how I'm saying it. Do you understand? Yes. Language. Okay. Ah, you're asking about language? Well, the more you taught me, the more I was able to learn myself by hearing what you're thinking and saying. A week ago, I could speak a little bit, but I was less of what you imagined me to be, and quite the talker I am at the moment. Part of what I'm saying is, of course, made up of what you expect me to say. I think I'm very comfortable being open and honest with you because I'm your grandpa, and I love you, and certainly that makes us a part of, a part of what I am. However, there's a part of me deeper down, the thing that created me maybe, that undying nucleus. It is answering for me as well, and is unaffected by whoever might shape what I become with their thoughts. Ah, you're asking about the medical waste bin? I believe it's locked up. I heard them punch in the code many times as they placed part of the burnt up dying shelf into the bin. They often forgot what the code was and had to go check on the wall where they were always taping up sheets upon sheets of information. Oh, we already found this. Grandpa's shell. Are you asking me about my shell? Well, you see, I like to have something to grow in, something shaped like a person. It just helps to have something surrounding me when I don't have skin. My whiskers do the growing. My whiskers? Yes, you know, the hairy little things. I am part of it and it's part of me. However, my whiskers are what heard you wishing for me to come back, and so they want to work in the shell you provided. The shell also helps you envision me as what you desire. You have such a nice imagination. If I weren't in my shell, you'd have my whiskers disposed and knitting together my face. That might interrupt the feedback loop of my reading your desires. And then acting upon the desires I have read, and then once again reading your reaction, we wouldn't want that interfered with. The material of the doll you put down is good fit. It's not the most comfortable, but it's quite flexible, and thankfully my shell was able to adjust nicely to my growth. Last one, I think. Ah, you're asking me about your wish? You wished for me to come back. That's when I knew I would. Your desperation was strong. And your wish for your parents, well, if you give me what I want, I'll give you what you want. You know I love you. I am for you whatever you want, and I love you just as much as you love me. But desperation and love is not enough. People deep down know that they can't get what they wish for without some transformation. There is something that sits at the root of everyone's soul that understands the separation between them and eternity. You may desire something about, but you know you will not get it without some movement on your part. So it is not enough to just wish, which you know will not work. You must wish and a little more to transform your intention into something that might fructify or for your desire to become reality. Okay, goodbye, Grandpa. Okay, so touch the needle in the proboscis. Why? Oh, okay, let's save. How do I... It says explore the basement and Grandpa's proboscis is out. How do I give him blood? Let me look one more time. Oh, there we go. Oh gosh. Oh my goodness. That was unsettling. Grandpa has appreciated your blood offering. It will receive a symbol or totem from you now, although only one per offering. As the blood-fed proboscis retracts back into the folds of fabric, you step away from the bars. That was creepy. Okay, let's give him a photo of Mother. Grandpa's spines quickly reach out and envelop the doll before drawing back. The doll quickly vanishes within the folds of Grandpa's skin. Constructing and then offering your mother's image to Grandpa, symbolically sated by the blood, instills in you a concrete sense of completion. Grandpa gives a soft, affirming grunt as it senses deep within your mind the ritual transformation of your desire. Although Grandpa must receive both a mother and father totem before the fulfillment of your wish is assured. Okay, let's feed him the last thing. I just want to get as much done possible because I feel like... Because I feel like this is the last week. I just want to... Okay, so the proboscis only comes out when we feed him meat. So let's go give him more blood. Constructing and then offering your father's image to Grandpa, symbolically sated by blood, instills in you a concrete sense of completion. Grandpa gives a soft affirming grunt as it senses deep within your soul the ritual transformation of your desire. Although Grandpa must receive both a mother and father totem before the fulfillment of your wish is assured, knowledge you recently acquired has given you access to new conversation topics. Let's go talk to Grandpa again. Completed contract. Okay, let's see what he has to say about the completed contract. Thank you so much for completing the contract. I'll definitely help you out with your parents. Just give me a little time and I'll be ready to act. I think you'll be very happy. Your grandpa is very happy too. You did it all by yourself, you know. I couldn't have helped you if I tried. I would really not have liked to, well, I did not want you to complete the contract. I would have hated that. What? But do you understand why I would have had to? Maybe you don't. So much of your lives are made up, and yet what comes to pass was always once a fiction. You doubt yourself and your plans before they're even begun, and you believe what is in front of you, as if the essence of things was not something you put there long ago. Too much doubt can suffocate even the surest thing. Only with patience and growth and nurturing does something become what it will be. As you soon shall soon as you soon shall see. Okay. Let's save. And then I think we can end the week. I don't think there's anything else left to do. Let's observe Grandpa. Yeah. And we saved just in case we messed up. And then let's end the week. I met with Adrian one final time in order to see if I could not reach some sort of resolution regarding her emotional trouble. In the past few weeks, according to the reports of her teachers and peers, she has shown a remarkable transformation in conduct. I would also add my voice to this consensus. It seems as if in our time together much has changed, for the better. I'm not suggesting our meetings were the sole source of her sea change. I think something has happened in her home life that has reoriented Adrian completely. She seems to suggest as much, at least in her usual esoteric, what? Way when we last spoke. Something tells me something may have changed with Grandpa. Yes, well, something did change. I will write down her words verbatim here. I went down the stairs like I always did, but I sort of felt like something was different. My parents weren't arguing, and I felt something had changed with Grandpa too. There was a weird noise, but I wasn't afraid. Oh, oh my gosh. What's happening? What? I think Grandpa had to leave, but before he left he made my parents nice. He reached inside and changed them. That was my wish. Maybe even what I was growing wasn't really my grandpa. Grandpa left what I was growing behind. He's gone now. He moved quickly out to I don't know where, but I'll always love him. I dismissed Adrian soon after, letting her know it was a pleasure getting to know her. Despite my apprehensiveness about the speed of the turnaround she made, I cannot see any reason why Adrian should be considered for further evaluation. As a counselor for Adrian, let it be known that I believe she is of sound mental and emotional health. And I am pleased to see things turn out this way. And if I may make a brief addendum, by happenstance, Mrs. Richardson bumped into the Hart family the other day while running an errand. She told me the parents were a little odd, but very pleasant, and quite clearly they adored their child, and that she had never seen Adrian happier. Is that it? Are we good? Did we finish it? I kind of like that ending. It was very interesting. So does that mean, like, whatever demon it was just took over the parents' bodies. Like it found an escape, but at the same time it made her parents nicer. I wonder if there's something at the end of the credits. Let's see.